Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here, D3 Topics Gamer, and I have a pretty interesting discussion video to share with you guys today. As I'm sure you can tell from the title, my discussion today will be talking about the theater experience and whether or not it is on its path to actually being irrelevant or just eventually end up dying. I saw a video like a couple days ago that kind of spoke about like the death of movie theaters, and it kind of got me thinking about, how little I think most people in general, like unless you're like a journalist and you actually get like free screenings, how often do you actually go to movie theaters? Like we're now here in the middle of June, like June just started, and I think about it, it's like I've only seen like one movie this year, and that was Dune, and that was really just because I kind of just want to see the major changes they had done to the second part. But it wasn't really a movie that I felt like I need to see in theaters. Like, it was nice seeing it in theaters with the surround sound system and the big TV, but I was just in the big screen. But I was just like, you know what, this movie's good, but if I had seen this at home with my own surround sound system, or just watching it with my SteelSeries headset, I don't think my experience would have been all that different. Because sometimes when it goes to seeing a movie, it's not so much the experience of seeing the movie, it's actually seeing it with like someone because sometimes I don't really care if I see it with like a crowd of anonymous strangers who I'm probably never going to talk to or never see again, because that's pretty much like most movie experiences that we all go. But sometimes I would feel just fine seeing like a new film with like a family member or a group of friends. I mean, that experience would stick with me much longer than just going to see like a solid movie in theaters and having to pay X amount of money. And then when you kind of think about like how movies are done today and kind of the practice of having these overblown budgets, and then these movies having to make like this massive amount of money in order to make a profit, and then when these movies don't make a profit, that kind of just sends a message to the studios of, well, what do we do? And then you have, like, we're in this crazy little trend where these movies are trying to be so political. They're trying to not be entertaining anymore. They're supposed to have some type of message or some sort of political view, and they're trying to convert you to think that way. And, that's not why I go to movies. I'd like to go to movies just to be entertained or have a good time or just anything than be kind of shunned or made to feel bad. Like, heck, I don't want to go see a depressing movie because I'm feeling depressed. I want to see, like, a happy movie to help me not be depressed, and that's just not the case. And then when I even look at like the slew of movies that are going to come out like for the rest of the year, like I mean, as I just go down the list, like honestly, like it's like most movies like that are coming out soon, I'm not even all that interested in. Like, let's say what's coming out next. Like Furiosa. I didn't even go see Furiosa. I saw Fury Road, but it's hard to believe that movie came out almost 10 years ago. And when you have a Mad Max film not have Mad Max, that was just like, I don't really need to see a film like that. And then I got films like Bad Boys 4, not interested. Pixar's Inside Out, not interested. The Exorcism, not interested. Quiet Place, not interested. Despicable Me 4, not interested. Twisters, no. Deadpool and Wolverine is the only film that it comes out in July that I've actually pre-ordered to see, and that's mainly for two reasons. One, I think it'll actually be a pretty fun film. I have to get my hands on my own popcorn bucket, because this is definitely the year of the really freaky popcorn bucket. So that's like 50% of the reason. And I look at the rest of the select. You have like Borderlands. I'm not going to see that. Alien Romulus, I've seen the trailer. That looks kind of safe, but heck, I'm not really into horror, and that's something that heck I would have no problem waiting and seeing at home. I mean, The Crow, I'm skipping. Beetlejuice is a maybe. I mean, I like the first one, but I won't say I'm the biggest fan of it. Transformers 1, I could easily wait to see that at home. Joker, might see that at home. Venom: The Last Dance, I wouldn't mind seeing that at home. I don't think the second one was really all that great. Gladiator 2, I don't even know why we're getting a Gladiator 2. And Kraven the Hunter, I'm done with comic book movies, so I don't really need, I can wait at home. And like the last movie comes out on December 20th, and that's like Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and that's like, I could see that at home, but like I'm just kind of gonna go see it because there's been some consistency over the past two films because I thought they were really good. But when I think of the overall movie theory experience, I think we're kind of past the point where there were movies where you had to actually see them. I mean, there was just a film that came out like, I can't remember what it was. It was recently. I think it was starring like Ryan Gosling or something. I can't remember what it was. Like, I can't remember what it was. But apparently it didn't do so well in the box office, and they just released it digital like 3 weeks after it came out in theaters. And I'm thinking, is that the path we can go? Like, our audience is gonna wise up and like accept this practice of being like, well, you could spend a large amount of money to go see that, to have to leave your home, go to a theater where you're gonna have to pay extremely expensive prices if you want to see it with multiple people, not including food, to see it in film once, or would you want to wait like 3 weeks? Hopefully, this movie doesn't do well in the box office, and then the studios have to release it like digitally because they have to make their money back as quickly as possible. Because the longer you wait, the less return that you're going to end up getting. Is that going to be a future practice? Because heck, there was a time where if a movie was really, 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 really good, you could only see it in theaters, and that's why the most amount of people want to see it. And then you would have to wait like 3, 4, sometimes 6 months before it was eventually released. But now that we're in a time where everything is kind of going into digital, and I think there's even some people saying that even the physical media is starting to disappear, which is kind of shocking to me. It gets to the point where, is it even worth it anymore? I can't say that it is. I mean, I would be very, very surprised if there even are movie theaters 10 years from now, because here's something that I never really considered and didn't even notice until someone pointed it out to me, was that if you think back to the kind of maybe like 10, 15 years ago, if you actually look at the design of movie theaters and their seatings, those seats, you had a lot of them and they were kind of uncomfortable, but then they got rid of those seats and they started adding these luxurious seats. And so you could seat more people, but you had to increase ticket prices. And then just recently, I don't know how long this has been around, but apparently there's some theaters that have beds. You can actually see a movie in an actual bed, which means odds are you can fit less people. I mean, what if I'm going myself? Like, do I want to watch a movie by myself in a large, like, I'm guessing it looked like a queen size bed with very few people in there? But odds are maybe the ticket prices are like, like $20, $25. Like, is that like, I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently it's a thing in some places, and I think that's just kind of crazy. So it seems like the less people actually want to go to theaters, the higher they're going to have to increase their ticket prices. And then there's all these different variations of film. Like, you want to see it like in standard digital, do you want to see it in 3D, do you want to see it in IMAX? So there are all these different variations. And do you really think seeing that movie in a different format is going to greatly change your experience of the film? And I could honestly say probably not. I mean, this is someone who the last movie I saw in IMAX was Oppenheimer, which Oppenheimer, incredible film, best film I saw last year, deserving of all the Oscars it's won. But when I really think about it, I think I would have had just as much of a good time seeing that film, watching it on my 55-inch screen TV, watching it in headphones, and just adding all my LED lights, just kind of add to the atmosphere. I think I would have had just as much of a time. I didn't need to see it in IMAX. I don't really think it all that much enhanced my experience. Still a fantastic film, but heck, I could have seen that film at home. And I think that's kind of the path that we're going into. And if we keep going down that road, I mean, just like, it'll be like the only time I'll ever actually go see a movie in theaters is if someone else wants to see a movie in theaters. I mean, I just talked to my brother yesterday and I asked him, when was the last time you went to go see, you took time and you went out of your way to see a movie because you really wanted to see it? And he told me the last movie he saw was Ghostbusters, but it wasn't really, from what I could tell, it wasn't because he wanted to actually see it. It was because he wanted to spend time with family members, because sometimes with family members it's kind of hard to get together and spend time together. So he's picked like, well, we'll just go see this movie just to spend time. And that's an interesting way to view as for why you would even go see a movie. Not so much for the movie itself, but just to spend time together. Because heck, that's something that I haven't done in a long time. I mean, the last movie I saw with just a friend was maybe The Batman. The last time I saw a film with my siblings was the first Suicide Squad movie. I mean, and the last time I saw a film that I can recall with my entire family was maybe Star Wars Episode 3. It was that long ago. So it's kind of just crazy that, I kind of want a deeper meaning and a deeper reason to go to a movie theater than just to see the movie itself, because I just don't think that movies will ever be so interesting that I feel like I have to see this in theaters. I have to see this on the biggest screen. I have to see this with a massive, impressive sound system. I think we're already past that point, because I could just see these films at home, and enjoy them all the same. And if we all get to that point in a large sense, when what's the point of theaters? You know? But yeah, I just wanted to share my initial thoughts on the topic in general, and I'm really curious about what do you think. I mean, do you think that at some point theaters will become irrelevant? I mean, do you guys even enjoy going to movie theaters anymore? I mean, just I would really like to hear your thoughts on the subject. So please let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you like more content like this, or would like to see me discuss more topics, make sure you subscribe and send me your ideas in the comments down below, and I'll try to get them up as soon as I can. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.